I thank everyone that has come today, and so many of them are my own people here at WWII East and have laid this spread for us, and thank you ever so much. Are some of my writing class people here? I thought I saw Dennis. Anyway, when we have our writing class every Tuesday in Gresham, we have no more than 5 minutes to speak. So I've timed this over and over and over. And I think it's probably 4.5 minutes, maybe not. I kept adding things. Anyway, dearest Will, is this too loud? No. Dearest Will, just think, I haven't written to you for years, but then you haven't been away. You must remember that I wrote you a letter every day when you spent those 8 summers in the Soviet Union. 4 of them studying Russian at Moscow U, and the other 4 guiding your Lincoln High students there. There wasn't any email, no phones then, cell phones. I should say that because I sent you daily political news at a time of national strife. You became the Walter Cronkite for the other American students in Moscow U that year. Mm-hmm. Well, my dear, excuse me, now we are where you love to be. More than once you said, I don't care if I can't hear a thing. He was very deaf. I want to be here at WWII East with all these people. So today, your friends, your relatives, your family members are all here honoring you. The celebration is all about you. What can be better than that? All this past week, I've been sitting through a mountain of snapshots that fell out of our old photograph albums, 16 of them. Years and years of our personal history, loaded with good memories, and are scattered over the carpet. Remember, our personal history began in the fall of 1946, when I was 19 and you were 20. We were both students at Dr. Wilma's Social Science class 101 at Central Washington College in Ellensburg, my 2nd year. You sat 2 rows above and behind me. You've told me a few times, and other people, how you used to like to watch me walk into class. I don't know why. However, we never spoke until later in the fall at the Hard Times dance, which was held in that drab lower level of the old administration building. We young women stood in a cluster on one side of the room, and the young men, 99%, recently mustered out of World War II service, were banked on the other side of the room, eyeing us, of course, and the small band began to play. And I saw a tall, handsome man stride across the floor and strap in front of me. I knew, then you said, would you like to dance? And you didn't say, I want to dance. So I knew then you were from good stock. We danced together until closing time. You had a hard time remembering my name, calling me Margie all the time. You walked me to Kamola Hall, that's my dorm, and declared you were going to come over in the morning and we would go skiing. Well, dear, you came about noon, and you didn't even remember your promise. But that didn't matter. We spent the rest of the day together, and most of every day under that until after we graduated, and we became one of the many campus couples. Those three college years were very special, weren't they? We had a wonderful courtship and married in August 1949, and to think it lasted 70 years. But there were many special times over the years. We both loved teaching, but were eager for those summer days at Lake Merwin when the kids were small. Then later we enjoyed all those summers with the family, camping up and down the Pacific coast in Canada. We didn't want them to ever end. I've been looking at this snapshot of you and me on the Jefferson Wilderness Trail. I think we were in our 50s then. Our backpacks sure were a lot heavier in those days, but we were strong and healthy. I know you carried the hatchet. It was the heaviest piece of equipment we took, and this picture's up there. Speaking of moonlight, no, excuse me, I think it was our second day when we pitched the pup tent at the edge of a lovely meadow blanketed with blooming purple gentians. They are flowers, in case you don't know. Anyway, later in the evening, it seemed something like Little Eden, when spellbound we watched deer and their fawns dancing in the moonlight. Heavenly. Speaking of moonlight, I think back to those wonderful Saturday nights the kids and we too skied at Ski Bowl before we graduated to Timberline and Meadows. We would ski until the chairs stopped running. Some nights the snow would fall so gently, the moonlight turned the flakes into silver lace. I think of Timberline, how we would bask in the alpine glow at the top of the mile, and then in a few minutes glide all the way down to the bottom. Well, I would glide in elegance, but you would tear down the slope as fast as you could go, especially if someone was watching. Once when we were with the Cascade Prime Timers at Big Sky Resort in Montana, you announced to the crowd, "My wife has mastered the fine art of slow downhill skiing." Well, I should have told them that one time what a time I had when I had to talk you down a long cross-country run when you were pleading to quit and get off. I'm so sorry, Will. You didn't get your wish to walk the Lost Creek Trail again on our anniversary in Mount Hood. But guess what? Next July, our family will have a picnic in the Lost Creek campground, and we will all walk the trail together. You and I will be holding hands because, you see, I wear your ring. One more thing, well, I'm sure you remember our trip to Scotland 32 years ago, when we went to visit the land of your proud ancestors and to see and hear the bagpipers. I took your picture standing in the World War II memorial in a small town there. I think that's over there too. I also bought a plaid shirt, and somewhere along that long mile we walked in Edinburgh was the shop. I'm wearing it right now, although it's a lot tighter. 2 years. Three new inches, I think. Your Scots tam is here. Where did I put it? Oh, there, oops. Yeah. It's right here, there's Scots tam. I got that outside of London in the castle someplace. A year before, I think 2 years before. Anyway, so to honor you, the last bit here in our program, you will be hearing the sound of the King's Royal Bagpipes. So this is all for now, Will. Lots of love, Mabel.
Yeah.